7% during what's usually a strong month, and sales in May revised lower. That's got shares of all the major home builders down. One of the few bright spots in the market today, shares of Amazon. They're soaring 12% higher right now after posting a surprise profit last quarter, thanks mostly to its cloud computing business. But shares of TrueCar down a staggering 36%. That company warning it'll miss second quarter forecast because fewer car shoppers are using its website. And Anthem Health made it official today. It's acquiring rival health insurance giant Cigna Corp for $54 billion. That'll have 53 million subscribers. I'm Tom Busby, CNBC Radio.
Have you had trouble with online dating? This is eHarmony founder Dr. Neil Clark Warren. We've created a new solution, EH+. EH Plus combines the personal attention of a matchmaker with eHarmony's extensive pool of great singles. EH Plus gives you hand-selected matches and freedom from being online. Get started today. Call 855-930-LOVE. That's 855-930-LOVE.
With Kcaa, paperless e-signing is a no-brainer for any business that requires legally binding signatures fast. That's because Kcaa offers everything you should expect from an electronic signature solution for just $1 per month. Kcaa cuts document turnaround time as much as 90%, thanks in part to its #1 rated mobile app. And Kcaa's secure cloud stores documents for on-demand tracking and retrieval. Get Kcaa now for just $1 per month. Go to Kcaa.com. That's CUDASIGN.com.
Here's all you need to know. There's a new cool way to sell your unwanted stuff online. It's buysellmakeoffer.com. Buysellmakeoffer.com. You're not going to believe it. Join the legions of web sellers and buyers who are turning to buysellmakeoffer.com today. Never pay fees again. For low monthly membership of $7.95, you can sell up to 50 items, and there's a 60-day free trial membership to get you started. You can even produce your own infomercial to sell your products and upload the video for the world to see. Go right now to buysellmakeoffer.com.
And good afternoon, 12:02. I'm Di Rice with the very latest in live local news, heard in the Inland Empire only here on Kcaa 1050 AM. For the past 4 months, investigators with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department Intelligence Team and the FBI Gang Task Force have been investigating the illicit activities of a criminal street gang known as the No Love Gangster Crips. As a result of the investigation, 22 firearms have been located and seized, as well as 6 ounces of cocaine. 11 alleged members and associates of the New Love Gang were also taken into custody for various criminal charges, including criminal street gang conspiracy, attempted kidnapping, assault, human trafficking, pimping, prostitution, and additional weapons and narcotics violations. Suspects all range from 20 to 30 years of age. And the city of Riverside is serving as host city for a delegation of Special Olympics athletes as part of the 2015 World Games in LA this weekend through August 2nd. About 7,000 participants in the World Games from 177 countries will compete in more than 250 sports. With leadership provided by the Riverside Sports Commission, Riverside is holding the 4-game pre-games celebration. This is day 4. Athletes have been staying at the California School for the Deaf in Riverside, and that makes Riverside the only city to host athletes at a facility that serves a special needs population. Host towns provide accommodations, meals, activities, and local transportation for athletes and their sponsors. And people who own residential or business property in Riverside County have until August 3rd, which is just around the corner, to file for unclaimed property tax refunds. After August 3rd, any unclaimed money shifts to the general fund and can no longer be claimed. There are over 1,200 refunds waiting to be claimed, totaling over $2 million. Filing instructions and a list of unclaimed property tax refunds from the tax year 2010 and prior are available on the county treasurer website All you need to do is Google Riverside County Treasurer unclaimed property taxes. Inland Empire weather, sunny today. Not much of a cloud in the sky, not many clouds in the sky, mostly sunshine. Highs near 89, so they say. We are, though, already at 86 degrees. Overnight lows expected to drop down to about 64 degrees. If you're rolling through Desert Center, that bridge should be open anytime. It's allowing one lane in each direction between the 86 and the 177, just on one side of the bridge while they fix the other side. And other than that, through the Cajon Pass, you've got an accident blocking 2 lanes on the 15 southbound, and that happens to be right before the 138. So that is due to a crash. Traffic is slow from Oak Hills Road, and the north is slow from Sierra to the 215. Already that drive to Vegas is happening. That is the latest with news, weather, and traffic on the station that leaves no listener behind. KCAA 1050 AM with Dave Ramsey next.
Give. Determination.
You can be intentional about your character, your work ethic.
You've got to be on the same page.
Today we're calling to let you know we are debt-free, house and everything.
You have done really, really, really good. And you're not going to quit now.
It's been a huge witness for us to be able to share that.
It was time to get serious.
Intentionality, people. Celebrate the success.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much.
This is your show, America.
If I knew at 22 what I know now, our life would be better off.
It's the show that's changing the world. Now you don't just listen to the show, you live it. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. This is your show, America. Thank you for joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Lindsay starts off this hour in Indianapolis. Hi, Lindsay. How are you?
I'm doing great. Happy Friday, Dave.
You too. How can I help?
So I had a question for you about an employee reimbursement program through my company. So through listening to your show and obviously through God's blessing, my husband and I have become debt-free within the past couple of days. Yes, we're so excited. Such a blessing. And throughout all of it, we've been bankrolling ourselves, paying cash for my master's program. However, part of that was also taking part in the employee reimbursement program that they have through my company. So what they basically do is, you tell them that you're taking this class, and they say that as long as you get an A or a B, they'll pay 50% of it. And the deal is you're all being good as long as you stay 2 years after you graduate, which I don't anticipate having any type of issues with that. But as we've been going through this whole debt-free process, it's kind of been in the back of my mind thinking that this is just another loan, and that we should just stop doing it and make sure I have the cash available so I can just pay them off right away whenever I do graduate, or along those lines. I don't know. It just
what I would do is continue to do it, but what this amounts to is it doesn't kick in, of course, unless you leave inside of 2 years. And so what I would do then is just say, how much money does it amount to that you would have to pay if you left inside of 2 years? Do you know? Have you added it up?
Yeah, it's $2,000. I've only done it for 3 semesters.
But, I mean, if you finished out your school doing this.
Oh, yeah. It would be close to about $6,000.
Okay. Then let's just beef your emergency fund up by 5.
Okay.
And that gives you enough. And, if you needed to leave for some reason because you got a better job, this doesn't end up being golden handcuffs then.
Right, exactly. That's what I was worried about.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. So, and the good news is it's not $50,000. It's $5,000.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and we've been paying cash for our half of it as we've been going through, so we don't owe anything to anybody else. It's just this particular loan type of deal.
Yeah. Actually, good, very good. That's exactly what I would do. Continue to pay for it. You get the reimbursement. You have to pay the reimbursement back to the tune of $6,000 if you finish the thing and you leave within 2 years. You got an extra $5,000 in your emergency fund. You'll be in good shape that way. John's with us in San Antonio. Hey, John, how are you?
Hey, Dave, what an honor to speak to you.
You too. What's up?
Hey, I have been a long-time listener, and I'm 68 years old. And when I turned 60, we investigated the long-term health care, and my wife and I both bought policies. And my question is, it's with a good company, and it's with the level of care that I hope I'm going to need, or I hope I won't need, I guess is the way to put it. But anyway, it's at the level of care that we thought we needed. And policy is about a little under $1,800 a year. And I get a letter in the mail this week that says my policy is, or my premium is being increased by 17%.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the way long-term healthcare works?
Yes.
As you get older, they just continue to nail you.
Well, it's not based on your age. It's based on their increased cost. And so if it was based on your age, they would have raised it more than that.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, definitely. So 17% and 17% is not much in that world.
Is that right?
Yeah. If gas went up 17%, there'd be a riot. But in the healthcare world, that's nothing. That's like a deal.
Not for me.
Yeah, I understand. So you have to make a decision if you're going to cut the coverage back and not keep all the bells and whistles in order to make the math work in your house. But yeah, because I mean that's what is be $200 a year, yeah, or a little more, probably $250 a year. That's $20 a month. That's pretty substantial if you're on a fixed budget. So it is something to watch there, but that's what you're facing. It's exactly what you're facing. So yeah, it's very normal. Sadly. Around here, if we got a 17% increase 1 year in our health insurance costs, you would probably hear us having a party because we would just be going, wow, that's amazing. Because with Obamacare, what it's done to health care costs, oh my gosh. 17%. Oh, I would do anything to get 17%. That would be a deal. Anyway, Diana is with us in Canada. Hi, Diana. How are you?
Hi, Dave. How are you? Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So we have a dilemma. We are in baby steps 4, 5, and 6. We are debt-free except our house. And we don't know to buy a car now as we saved $6,000 or to wait 1 more year and to buy a nicer car for $15,000 or $17,000.
Either one's okay with me. Which one do you want to do?
I don't know, because my husband is in dilemma. Why? Because he has now to commute for 2 hours, and this drives him crazy.
That would drive me crazy, too. Why don't you move?
It's 2 hours by bus, but it's 30 minutes by car.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, and you don't have a car?
We have one car, but I am picking
I'll be
up
buying a car yesterday. It gets you an hour and a half of your day back each way?
Yes.
3 hours a day is returned to your life for $6,000, and you have the $6,000 above your emergency fund? I'd buy a car before the sunset.
Okay. Yeah.
And then save up and move up in car.
Yeah, this is just a short goal for 2 years, and we can move up. But he's afraid.
It's not a short goal. It's a 3-hour commute every day we're doing away with.
Yeah, it's true.
That's just out of control. No, you're giving your husband his life back for $6,000, and you have the money. Yeah, go buy a car. That's what I would do. And then save up and move up further in car. There's nothing to say the $6,000 car can't be sold in a year for $6,000. They don't go down much in value. They're kind of done. And then you can go up, you add some money to that and buy a better car next year. In the meantime, he gets to drive it the whole year, which is like a huge blessing in this situation. Absolutely. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. We appreciate you jumping in and making this a part of the thing. You can follow us on Twitter if you'd like, at Dave Ramsey. And, of course, on Facebook at facebook.com/Dave Ramsey. We got about 660,000 on Twitter, about 3 million on Facebook. So we appreciate you hanging out. We put out some good info there to mess with you a little bit. And those are interesting formats. So we're glad you're with us. Oh, my goodness. We'll be back with your calls, America. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
If you like jazz, you'll enjoy getting together with me, Tommy Hawkins, a jazz hawk, Tune into my show, Just Jazz, Saturday nights, 10 to midnight on KCAA 1050 AM.
I literally started my business on a card table in my living room. In those days, I was the one responsible for keeping track of my expenses. And if I wanted my family to eat, I had to make sure the money was coming in. I was a true entrepreneur. Nowadays, I know there's a better way. It's called FreshBooks, and I'm a big fan of what they do. FreshBooks is an online software and mobile app that allows you to track your time, capture expenses, and create professional invoices. It's easy and it works. Find out what over 5 million entrepreneurs and small business owners just like you have already discovered. You can try it free today at getfreshbooks.com. Just enter the Dave Ramsey Show under How Did You Hear About Us for your free 30-day trial. That's getfreshbooks.com. And remember, enter the Dave Ramsey Show to get started today.
This is KCAA.
Here's your Money Minute with Market Wrap host Mo Ansari.
If you follow the markets, you've probably been getting seasick lately. But what if I told you that market volatility can be a good thing? If you're a bargain hunter, this is your coupon. So keep your shopping list handy. If you're a long-term investor with plenty of time before retirement, the money going into your 401k each month will buy more shares when the markets are down. And if you have a good financial plan, you can relax while others worry, because that plan will carry you beyond today's headlines. Of course, you should always consider professional guidance before making any financial decisions. That's your Money Minute. I'm Mo Ansari.
For more tips on investing during market volatility and other investment topics, listen to Market Wrap weekdays at 5 p.m. on this station. For a free consultation with Mo Ansari, call 800-388-9700. That's 800-388-9700.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor. Funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC.
Wondering what to do on your Friday drive home? Well, the bar's open and it's happy hour. Join us right here on KCAA 1050 AM on Friday at 3 for Trevor's Happy Hour with Lyle Fenimore. The gang's all going to be there, so dial it in. KCAA 1050 AM Fridays at 3 p.m. right after The Poor Man for Trevor's Happy Hour with Lyle Fenimore. Pour me a tall one. Brought to you by BuySellMakeOffer.com.
Come visit the all-new Tiger Trail at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. Get an early start and have a bountiful buffet breakfast at Tiger Trail's Sambutan Longhouse while watching these majestic creatures. A tiger keeper will be on hand to share stories about these fascinating felines and will invite one of the tigers to join the session. Then explore the Tiger Trail's 5.2 acres, watch the tigers climb rocks, swim in ponds, and nap in tall grasses. See these beautiful animals up close, all at the new Tiger Trail at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. Go to San Diego Zoo Safaripark.org.
Down to Earth Talk, a show designed to inspire, encourage, build, and bring laughter to listeners. Down to Earth Talk, where we take everyday topics and issues and put them into practical, down-to-earth terms. Topics include relationships, parenting, finances, sports, and entertainment. That's Down to Earth Talk, Saturdays 5:30 p.m. right here on KCAA 1050 AM.
Hey, Amalia, how are you?
Hi, Dave. Great. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So, my husband and I are scheduled to be debt-free next month, and we are currently in escrow during contingency stage. We have an FHA loan, and we have $300 in an emergency fund. So we're all over the place with our baby steps and need your advice.
Okay. Well, we tell folks not to buy a home until they're out of debt and have an emergency fund fully funded plus a down payment.
Okay.
And so you're not in a position to buy a home.
Okay.
Now, the problem is, I think you've signed a contract, haven't you?
We've put an offer on a home, yes. So
the offer was accepted, wasn't it?
Yes.
That's called a contract.
Okay.
And so now you bought a house.
Okay.
But unless you go back on your word, which I'm not going to tell you to do that.
Right.
But, I mean, you were not ready to buy a house. And so if I'm you, I'm going to be very, 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 very scared. Don't talk to me about curtains or furniture, okay? You've got to finish up this. You've got to build up your emergency fund. But you don't even have a down payment.
Right.
Where are you getting the down payment? Because FHA's not zero down.
Right.
Where's it coming from?
A gift, a family.
A gift? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How much are they giving you?
$15,000.
Awesome. And how expensive is the house?
It went for $429,000.
What is your income?
$88,000.
Okay, and you're going to take out a $4,000 house payment.
It came out to $2,800 a month.
Okay, a $3,000 house payment.
Yes.
How old are you guys?
We are 30, 31, maybe 32.
Okay. I doubt you're going to do this, but if I were you, I would enter into discussions with the realtor and the seller if you can surrender your earnest money and walk away from this deal. You're buying too much house and you're too broke to buy it.
Okay.
I'm scared for you. The amount of payment that you are taking out and the fact that you have absolutely no money is scaring me to death. If you were I've got a daughter that's almost 30. If it was her and her husband sitting at my kitchen table, I would be begging them to not go forward with this if there's a way that you can get out of it. The downside is that you have signed a contract and you may have to. But this may unless your income goes up dramatically in the next couple of years, this house is going to saddle you. You guys are going to feel like you're trying to run a race with ankle weights on. It's going to be very, very, very tough to do. So that one hurts. Ouch. Cassandra's with us in Phoenix. Hi, Cassandra. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Thanks so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
All right. So my husband and I have a combined household income of about $85,000. We both have master's degrees and about a combined student loan debt of $80,000.
Good Lord.
I know. We have about $2,500 in our emergency fund, no car payments. We do own a home, about $250,000, and recently paid off some credit card debt, about $6,000. That was more at my settled direction.
Good. So you're making progress.
Yes, getting there. Ready to tackle our student loans. However, I'm still trying to convince my husband to actually get serious about these baby steps. He just can't get his head around the idea of stopping our 401k contribution.
Why? Because this is working so well for you?
I know, right?
I mean, you're so deeply in debt, you can't breathe. $80,000?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody needs to, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Mm-hmm. Where are you going to be in 15 years if you go with his plan? That's what he needs to answer.
Still in debt.
I can tell you where you're going to be. You'll still have $65,000 in student loan debt.
Right.
And it's going to continually keep you guys trying to run your race, the race of your life with ankle weights on.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the way you need to talk this through is, yes, you do need to temporarily stop investing, and you need to stop doing anything until you get this mess cleaned up. It's going to take you 2.5 years if you go on beans and rice.
Right.
And no vacations and no eating out. But then you'll have your whole life ahead of you to where you can win. So how to convince him of that if he's not ready, I don't know. I mean, have you got a copy of the Total Money Makeover?
Not yet.
All right, let me give you one, and you're not dumb people. You have master's degrees, so that's not a problem.
Yeah.
So let me set the information in front of him. Here's here's the thing we've learned. There is your future wealth has more to do with your behavior management than it does with mathematics.
Right, and that's what he's concerned about.
He's doing mathematics. You and I are doing behavior.
Right.
And the funny thing is the math actually works my way better, but it's hard to see it because you have to stop doing, tell somebody stop putting money in their 401ks like blaspheming, right?
Right.
And so, you got to just walk this through real careful. But if it's against my nature as a math nerd to tell you to do this, but I've got 25 years of teaching people to do it, and they've become wealthy doing what I'm teaching. So I know this works. And so, you just the problem with a student loan is it's large, and it's a small interest rate, and it's a small payment amount because it's drug out over forever. And so it's like a backache. You just kind of tolerate it and go on through your life instead of dealing with it. And so you just got to really lean into it. So I would preach to him the power of focus supersedes the power of mathematics on a short-range goal, like paying this off very quickly, because it's going to be very hard for you all to become extremely prosperous over the next 10 or 15 years if you're dragging this thing behind you.
Right.
That's what it comes down to. And the only way to get rid of it's punch it, because it's big. Yeah. It's big. So hold on. I'll give you a copy of the Total Money Makeover. We'll help you do that. And let me give you a couple of tickets to the SMART conference, too. We're going to be doing the all-day-long conference. If you want to come. If you don't want to come, don't take them. That's fine. But the SMART conference is I'm looking for the date. I'm struggling here. All right. It's going to be in Phoenix, Arizona, October the 17th. There it is. Okay, thank you. And it's an all-day-long conference about marriage, parenting, money, retiring inspired. Chris Hogan will be speaking. Meg Meeker, one of the top marriage experts in the nation, will be speaking. Of course, I'll be speaking. My daughter Rachel Cruz will be speaking on money. Les Parrott on money, on marriage, and Dr. Henry Cloud on boundaries. It's an incredible day-long event. Most popular event we've ever done. But it's got everybody. I mean, it's like an all-star lineup. That's the deal. So jump in. And hold on, and Kelly, I'll give you a couple tickets to the SMART conference and give her a Total Money Makeover book if she wants them. If she doesn't want them, it's okay. No big deal. All right, let's see here. Houston, Texas is with us. Dustin's on the line. Hi, Dustin.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hey, I just had a question about investing. About a year ago, I became debt-free, and I have about $10,000 saved up in my emergency fund.
Good.
And I'm investing 15% in my 401k.
Great.
My company doesn't match, and I feel really overwhelmed with the investing part because they have a list of just like products to pick from to invest in, and it feels like it's just an endless list, and I don't know how to do research on these, and I don't know the first thing about starting to do anything for that.
Okay. Well, let me give you a primer, but it's going to take me longer than 30 seconds. Can you hold through this break?
Sure.
And then I'll give you a resource to go with the primer so you can dig down even deeper. But I'll give you some basics for us to look at. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
This is KCAA.
California headline news. Some of those evacuated in the Rag fire near Lake Berryessa are being allowed to return home now, even though that fire is still only 15% contained. CAL FIRE's Amy Head says the terrain is rugged and steep and the winds are strong.
The winds are definitely a little stronger up higher on the ridge tops, and then you have to deal with the winds being in the canyons and the chutes and draws that they're dealing with, becoming a lot more erratic in those areas.
The fires burned 6,900 acres so far. Residents in the Golden Bear area allowed to go home, but neighbors north of Highway 128 still under mandatory evacuation orders. Chris Lindeman has been caring for her neighbors' animals.
CAL FIRE and the local fire departments from all over, they come and protect the homes. They protect everything. You know, I have great faith in all of them.
And Caltrans officials are getting ready to reopen lanes on I-10 in the Inland Empire after last weekend's bridge collapse. Drivers will use the westbound lanes of the 10 near Desert Center beginning at noon. Geico weather, gusty winds, chance for rain. I'm John Gilliland, California Headline News.
It's Lisa G here. Hey, I think you're all beautiful. I love you guys, and I'll bet a lot of you out there have acne. I feel your pain. It's embarrassing, and you're thinking, how on earth can I get rid of it, right? One word, Proactive. I'm telling you, prescription-grade Proactive heals your acne and even prevents future breakouts. How great is that? There's a reason why so many celebrities use Proactive. Their faces are their money. It's time to get it because Proactive has set up a special dedicated 800 number for my listeners. So get ready to punch that number into your phone. Pull over if you have to. Here's the deal. $19.95 gets you Proactive, plus a rotating deep cleansing brush. It's valued at $45, and it's yours free. So is the shipping. For only $19.95, you, my friends, are guaranteed to get clear and stay clear, or you'll get your money back. Here's the number, 1-800-644-5944. Call for a lifetime of beautiful skin. Tell them Lisa G sent you. Call 1-800-644-5944.
What's buzzing in the news? The British Open had many people glued to their TVs. Rapper Meek Mill's feuds with Toronto City Councillor, and Space Jam 2 may have a new star. Here's KCAA's Successful Brim with what's trending this week.
Leading with over 1 million searches, the 144th Open Championship game came to an end this week with U.S. champion Zach Johnson taking the gold in a 4-hole playoff. This year's Open had 1.94 million viewers compared to last year's 1.50 million viewers throughout the tournament. But get this, the final round had 2.55 million viewers, breaking last year's final viewership. Also trending with over 1 million searches, Toronto councillor Norm Kelly tweeted rapper Meek Mill saying he is no longer welcome to Toronto. This after the rapper tweeted many unpleasant opinions that he has on rapper Drake. The Twitter feud between the two lit social media on fire. Meek Mill later apologized for his rant about Drake during a performance with rapper Nicki Minaj. And after LeBron James signed a Hollywood deal with Warner Bros. This week, many people are starting to wonder, will he be starring in Space Jam 2? The Twitter sphere wasn't too happy with the idea. Some tweeted, how is LeBron James going to save Earth and space when he can't save Cleveland? This had over 500,000 searches. I'm Successful Brim with what's trending this week on KCAA 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Friday night, July 24th at Wien's Family Cellars Winery in Temecula. A concert under the stars featuring Berlin with lead singer Terry Nunn and their huge hits, Sex and Riding on the Metro. Opening the show, Temecula's very own, the 4019s. The entire show is hosted by me, the Poor Man. Berlin, the 4019s, and dinner, Friday night, July 24th at Wien's Family Cellars Winery in Temecula. Get your tickets now. Go to goldencrownproductions.com. Call 951-658-2411 for more information. Concert in support of Hospice of the Valley. So we'll see you Friday night, July 24th, Wien's Family Cellars Winery in Temecula. Berlin, 4019s, hosted by me, the Poor Man. See you there.
If you can't seem to stay ahead of your bills, then this message is for you. How would you like to have a large portion of your credit card debt, medical bills, and department store debt forgiven? National Credit Card Relief would like to give you free information on a proven debt forgiveness program. This program has been used by thousands to legally forgive millions in unsecured debt. It's not bankruptcy. It's not consolidation. This special program actually wipes clean the portion of your debt that is forgiven from what you owe your creditors. Call for free information and get all your questions answered in the first free call. The more you owe, the more you can save. If you have at least $10,000 or more in credit card bills, this debt forgiveness program can be very effective. Call for free information and find out more now. 800-546-2909. There is no cost or obligation for the information. Don't wait. Call 800-546-2909. That's 800-546-2909. Get your debt problem solved. Call 800-546-2909 today.
America's pop culture entertainment show is here each week on KCAA.
Hi, this is David Cohen together with Douglas Viviani. Join us each Saturday at 2 o'clock for Everything Old is New Again, where we take a nostalgic look at the future.
We'll revisit the entertainment and pop culture of yesterday juxtaposed to that of today. TVs, movies, music, and much more. Be forewarned, we're going to start the arguments you're going to love to have.
Everything Old is New Again, Saturday at 2 o'clock right here on CNBC KCAA 1050 AM.
Talking with Dustin in Houston, Texas, and he's got so many 401k options. He's in baby step 4 that they're overwhelming, and he doesn't know how to pick among them. So he and I decided after the break we would talk through some of them as a method of helping him, but also letting some of you in on some of these things. So is that a fair summary of what we said so far?
That's exactly what's going on.
How many options do you have?
I don't have it in front of me, but I'd say there's at least 20, 30.
Okay. All right. The first thing you're looking for is, if you'll remember that the name of the option or the name of the mutual fund should give you some kind of insight as to what's in it. Okay?
Okay.
So if it says it's a growth stock mutual fund, that means it's a mutual fund that has growth stocks in it. What does that mean? It means it's stocks in companies that are growing. And you're going to make most of your return not on the profits of those companies, but on the fact that the company is growing, so the stock price is going up. And so in a growth stock mutual fund, you would see stocks of companies that you recognize, like a Home Depot or an Apple or a McDonald's or a Coca-Cola or so on. Okay?
Okay.
If you see a bond mutual fund, well, guess what's in it? Bonds. If you see a muni bond fund, that's short for municipal bonds. Those are bonds issued by cities and states that are tax-free, but uber low interest rates, and not what we tell people to do. Okay, we tell people to spread across 4 types: growth, growth and income, aggressive growth, and international. So guess what's in an international growth stock mutual fund?
International stocks?
There you go. That are growing, in companies that are growing. And an international means it's not any U.S. companies in it. It has a kissing cousin called a global fund. A global fund is the whole globe. So it'll have some foreign countries' companies in it. In a global. So if you'll just, once you kind of get in there and you start poking around, the words that are on the front of it are going to tell you a lot about what you're getting in there. If it says emerging markets or aggressive growth, those are going to be smaller companies. That's going to be your roller coaster ride.
Okay.
Emerging market doesn't say stable. That says crazy. It's going to be wild. But you could get some good returns there. We tell you to have a fourth of it in aggressive growth. The other funds you may see are index funds, and you got to learn a little bit about the indexes to know what that means. So there's a Russell 6000 fund, index fund, which will be small companies, and that'll be much like your aggressive growth. Or if you see a small cap fund, that's going to be like your aggressive growth. When you see the word cap, it means capitalization, money. So large cap means big companies. Mid cap means medium-sized companies. Small cap means small companies. The larger the company, usually the less volatility. So a large cap fund is much like a growth and income fund. Because a growth and income is going to be a company that's not just growing, they're also throwing off income, and that's going to be your larger, more boring companies. The stocks are not real exciting
But you want some things in your mix that are not real exciting. They're stable, in other words. And so what you want is with the large cap, that's going to be companies like an Alcoa Aluminum or a General Motors or something along those lines. General Electric, big old dinosaur, doesn't move a lot, which is good if things are going down, right? And so you want that in there. Large cap sometimes is also called a blue chip fund. The blue chip at the poker table is the most expensive chip. So it's the same thing. It means the biggest big company. Blue chip is a big, expensive company, or a well-capitalized company, got a lot of money. And so in terms of their size, so very calm. So interchangeable almost would be blue chip, large cap, and growth and income. Those three mean almost the same thing. They're going to be very, very similar funds. Interchangeable at the middle would be mid cap or growth. Interchangeable on the other end would be aggressive growth, small cap, emerging markets, that kind of a thing. International, sometimes called a foreign fund, it has a kissing cousin called a global fund. So those are the four types we talk about putting money across those four. Don't want to put any money in anything with bonds. Not for your long-term plan. I don't. This is how I personally do my 401k, by the way. And so anything that has a bond on it, if it has that word on there, I'm just going to walk away. If it has an index on it, find out what the index means. An S&P 500 is 500 largest stocks on the stock market, according to Standard & Poor, the S&P. So the S&P 500 does just about exactly what the stock market does. It is the bellwether for everybody talks about on the news. What's the Dow Jones Industrial Average done? It's not nearly as good a statistical indicator of what the overall market did as the S&P 500 is, because the Dow is just 30 stocks. The S&P is 500 stocks, so it's a better representation of what the real stock market is doing. And so whatever the S&P is doing is what the stock market's doing, and that's right there in the middle. That's like a growth fund. If you don't have a good growth fund, you can go to an S&P. There's nothing wrong with that for part of your portfolio. I don't want it all in there. I want to find some stuff that beats the S&P. On the downside with the growth and income, so when the market dives down, the S&P dives deeper than the growth and income dives. And on the upside with the aggressive growth in the international, you ought to be able to find those that outperform the S&P. And you can most of your brochures and stuff you can get a hold of will have the S&P, and you can measure it against. It'll have a chart inside the brochure with the S&P and an overlay chart of what that particular fund has done. And if it's worse than the S&P, you don't want to do it. Just do an S&P instead, right?
Right.
Okay. So that's kind of what you're looking for. A couple things to remember there. But the big thing is the name on the front of the fund should give you some kind of an indicator of what's in it. And then just do your homework. Reach in there and read a little bit. If it says fixed, it's more like or if it says annuity, just stay away from those in your 401k. No need to do that at all. That's just going to be like a savings account inside your 401k. If you see guaranteed, you don't want that in your 401k. That's always going to be a 2 or a 3% or a 1% rate of return, while I'm over here in these mutual funds making anywhere from 10 to 15%. So you don't want the guarantee. That guarantees where you want your emergency fund, but we're not buying CDs here, right? So that's one thing, is look at the names to find out what's in them and do a little bit of reading. You can read the stuff on each one of them. It'll tell you something about it. The second thing then is look at their returns. And don't look at a 1-year return or a 3-year return. Look and see what it's done 5 years or more. I like looking at 10 or 20-year rates of return on that particular mutual fund. And so if you pull up that guaranteed and it's 2%, and you pull up that S&P 500 and it's 12%, you're going to go, oh, okay, I see the difference, right? And so the returns are going to give you some revelation as well. And then lastly, if you need further help and you just really still don't know what to do, you're still confused, or you're still scared to do it, that's okay. Take your time to read, but get in touch with one of our endorsed local providers. They don't make a thing helping you select your 401k stuff, but because you're a Dave Ramsey listener, they'll help you.
Okay.
Because they like just doing it. But I don't want them to do it for you. I want you to go on a little bit of a learning quest here, okay?
Sure.
So I appreciate you calling in. Does that help you at all?
It does. It gives me a lot of information, and thank you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate you joining us. That's what we do here. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk.
Well, maybe. Chaos? Definitely. Tune in weekday mornings, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. for Controlled Chaos with Gary Garver, Jigga, Dave, and Mary Tonga. KCAA, 1050 a.m. You have to hear it to believe it.
This is KCAA.
Like to spend a few days in another world? Then write this down. Golden Bear Cottages, Big Bear Lake. Now, listen, this is not some corporate-owned operation. It's family-owned and operated by some real nice people. Unique? Oh, you bet. Golden Bear Cottages features 28 one-of-a-kind cabins on a 5-acre historic site. Great for families, couples, and groups. And cabins are available with 1 to 7 bedrooms. Golden Bear Cottages is just a stone's throw from Big Bear Lake and super close to 3 great ski areas. Now, I could go on all day about Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear, but to see everything, just go to goldenbear.net. Again, goldenbear.net. Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear. Clean, comfortable, and affordable. Check them out. goldenbear.net.
For over 50 years, the Junior University Musical Theater has been a part of the fabric of San Bernardino, and this summer's feature production is The Jungle Book. Take the whole family to the Roosevelt Bowl in Paris Hill for a great musical under the stars. Get your tickets now at junioruniversity.org for The Jungle Book, now through August 1st. And be listening to KCAA 1050 AM for your chance to win tickets to see this family-friendly musical. When you hear the jungle drums, be the 5th caller at 888-KCAA.
Hi, it's Brad Dalius, host of the Beat Pod Show. Join me each week for the latest news and entertainment, including new movies, TV shows, music, comedy, and more. You'll also hear inside stories from the stars themselves, providing you access to the world of Hollywood. So join me, Brad Dalius,
Sunday at 11 p.m. and Monday at 3 p.m.
every week for the Beat Pod Show, here on CNBC, KCAA, 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Be the 5th caller at 888-KCAA for The Jungle Book, now through August 1st.
Hey, this is El Chabdog of Chabdog Sports Talk. Join me every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. for anything and everything sports related. Chabdog Sports Talk, Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. on the station that leaves no listener behind, KCAA 1050 AM.
InfoTrack is the weekly show with information you should know. Hi everybody, this is Chris Whitting, inviting you to join me and the InfoTrack team as we bring you interviews with top experts on a world of fascinating topics that affect your life, your family, your home, your finances, your health, and much more. That's InfoTrack.
Sundays at 6 a.m.
Right here on CNBC KCAA 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
I'm watering my lawn.
Don't you know you can't water your lawn in the middle of the afternoon? Uh-oh, you're in big trouble. Here comes the water police.
Well, what do I do now?
Tune into the Water Zone show on KCAA Radio Thursday nights at 6 p.m. They'll help you out.
This is KCAA.
Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you are here. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Allie's with us in Sacramento. Hi, Allie. How are you?
Good. About yourself, Dave?
I'm sorry?
How about yourself?
I am better than I deserve. What's up?
Okay. Here's my question. My question about refinancing my house. I have a home about $340,000, and I purchased it last year for 30 years fixed loan mortgage. The mortgage rate dropped, and they keep calling me every day. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this house for 5 years. Probably I'm going to sell it 2 years later, or 3, or at the most 5 years. I don't know if I need to refinance it or not. And I have a paid-off condo in another city that it gives me a rent. And I don't know if it's a good option to keep the mortgage that I have or refinance it for 15 years or sell the condo that I have and pay the most portion of my debt on the house and basically go with the much less mortgage rates.
Yeah, I would love to. I'd love to have you almost out of debt. That sounds exciting. I'd probably sell the condo if I were in your shoes.
The point is, condo. The value of the condo raising up, and it gives me some income. I don't know which.
Let me ask you this: what's the condo worth?
150.
150. So it won't pay your house off then. It would just lower it.
Yes.
So let's pretend that your house had only $100,000 owed on it, and you did not own the condo. Would you go get a mortgage and borrow another $200 to buy a condo in L.A. for rental? Would you increase your mortgage from $100 to $300 to buy a condo in Florida? I mean, in L.A.
I don't know. That's why I call you.
Yeah.
Because my house is in the Sacramento, and it doesn't get value as much as it gets in L.A. That's the point.
Yeah. Well, I live in Nashville, and I'm well aware that L.A. is going up, and I'm well aware that Manhattan is going up, but I don't own any real estate there. And I certainly wouldn't have borrowed on my personal residence in order to cause that to happen. And in effect, by not selling the condo, it's as if you have borrowed the money to buy the condo. The same on your balance sheet. So I would sell it, and I would reduce your mortgage, and then that would allow you to refinance and recast and get you in a much more stable position. I would not refinance if you're not going to sell the condo, because you're probably not going to be in the home long enough to recoup any savings on interest rate by doing that. Philip's with us in Huntsville. Hi, Philip. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, I actually have a quick question. I have a mortgage of $61,000, and I have enough to pay it off. I actually have about $72,000 in the bank, so I'd like to pay it off.
Good.
However, we are going to be moving here in about 2 weeks, and so I don't know if it's worth it to pay it off and just get the money back when we sell it, or if
no, it's not worth it. I would just let the sale take care of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't fool with that. If you're going to be there, if you're going to be there a year or something, we'd talk about it. But you've got the house sold, and you just haven't closed the deal yet.
Oh no, I don't have the house sold yet.
I'm sorry.
We haven't even. Yeah, we haven't even. We're putting it on the market in the next 2 weeks.
Oh, you're putting it on the market in the next 2 weeks. It hasn't sold yet. Okay.
Right.
Well, if it doesn't, I mean, is the market pretty hot there? You're going to be able to get rid of it?
I don't know. I actually live just north of Huntsville, and the community that I live in has had several houses go up, and they seem to last for a few months. But I know that we're right at the end of the selling season, so I have no clue what it's going to do.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you look up next spring, you still got it, you might pay it off.
Okay.
But I mean, pretty much we know this house is leaving, and if it leaves in a reasonable period of time, I would just let the house take care of itself in terms of getting it paid off. It's just I mean, you can do it either way. You just don't gain much by paying it off. Turn around in a month, getting your money back. I mean, if it sold the first week you put it on the market, then that's what you'd have. So, all right, Ann's with us in Miami. Hi, Ann. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Okay, so here's my question. We have two policies. We have a 20-year term life policy, which is about 8 years left, and we also have a whole life level term policy. I'm trying to figure out...
There's no such thing as a whole life level term policy. You either have a level term policy or you have a whole life policy.
Okay. Well, we have the whole life policy, and I'm trying to figure out, should I get rid of that?
Sure.
And maybe start putting all that money into our debt?
Yes.
Or, yes.
Absolutely.
Should I But what happens when the term life policy is over and I have to now get a new policy?
20 years from now?
No, in 8 years.
Okay. If you want to buy some more term insurance to make sure you have the right amount of insurance, that's fine. But how old are you?
44.
Okay. At 64 years old, 20 years from now, if you bought a 20-year term policy now to replace the whole life policy, if you wanted to do that, that's fine. It's going to cost you about a nickel on the dollar, about 5% as much as your whole life costs you. Okay? And that gives you a lot of money freed up, as you said, to get out of debt and to build wealth with. Now, when you're 64, your kids will be grown and gone unless you have a dysfunctional family. Would we agree on that?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have your home on a 15-year mortgage or less?
No, 30-year.
All right. Do you have plans to work our Total Money Makeover baby steps and pay it off within 15?
Yes, we are starting that now.
Good. And you're going to be out of debt, right?
Right.
Okay. So your house would be paid off. You'd have no debt by the time you're 64. And the kids are grown and gone by the time you're 64. And would you be investing over these years once you're out of debt, following the baby steps at baby step 4, putting 15% of your income into retirement?
Yes.
Okay. If you do that for 15 to 20 years, would you have $500,000 to $1 million? The answer is yes.
Yes.
Okay. So let's pretend you've got $700,000 in your 401k. Your kids are grown and gone. You don't have a mortgage and you don't have any other debt. And you die. I think he can struggle through. He's got $750,000. He's got no debt, no house, no kids. Or vice versa. He dies. You can struggle through on that, can't you?
Gotcha. So you're saying get rid of the whole life policy because the death benefit is not going to be, we'll already have our own amount saved up.
My point is, by getting out of debt and by building wealth, doing those two things, you become self-insured and your need for life insurance goes away. When you're 32 years old and you got debt hanging around your neck and you got 3 kids running around your ankles and you got a mortgage that you just started, you need to have a bunch of life insurance to make sure you can make it through, right? But if you follow what we teach, you won't have a mortgage and you won't have debt and your kids will be grown and gone and you'll have money in savings and you will be in a position because you did financial planning to have no need for life insurance. So that's why a 20-year level term is just fine, because 20 years from now you'll be just fine. So if you need some, I don't know how much term you have today, but if you need to, you should have about 10 to 12 times your income on you, 10 to 12 times your husband's income on him in term life insurance. And since you're just starting the plan, regardless of your age, you got 20 years. If you want to take out a 20-year, that's fine. If you look at it and you go, hey, we've already got $400,000 in our 401k. All we got to do is get this mortgage knocked out and get these kids ushered the rest of the way out of the house. And, we're going to be okay. So 15 years, we're really going to be okay. Then take out a 15-year term. It's cheaper than a 20. So, take out a 15-year. So we say either a 15 or a 20-year level term, 10 to 12 times your income on you, 10 to 12 times his income on him. But the idea being that by doing away with debt, mortgages, kids leaving home, and by building wealth in your 401ks and in your mutual funds, you self-insure because you've done good financial planning. And the only thing that's whole life about whole life insurance that's a reality is that commission would like that insurance agent would like to get a commission for his whole life. That's the only thing good about those, which is nothing. There's nothing good about those. So hope that helps you. Thanks for joining us. That puts this hour of the Dave Ramsey Show in the books. Our thanks to James Childs, our producer. Blake Thompson's our executive producer. Kelly Daniels, our associate producer. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. We'll be back.
Art Bell is back, and he's coming to KCAA.
There are a lot of people who think that we are Martians, that there's a strong possibility that we are Martians. That's why I said us. No, I'm serious. There was a civilization on Mars. That life had been us or our ancestors.
Nobody is more captivating than Art Bell.
Now, I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there is something here that defies logical explanation.
Tune into the best. Midnight in the Desert with Art Bell.
The only way you're going to get the American people to pony up the billions of dollars, however many hundreds of billions it would be to go to Mars. The only way you're going to get them to do that is to convince them that we have a real reason to go.
Want to take a ride?
Weeknights at 9 p.m. on KCAA, 1050 AM. This is KCAA Loma Linda, the station that leaves no listener behind. CNBC News is next, a courtesy of buysellmakeoffer.com, where you can post a video about items you have for sale. Sign up now. It's free.
I'm Chris Maurer, CNBC Business Radio. Stocks are trading sharply lower despite a surprising earnings beat from Amazon. Shares of the online retailer soaring, making it the world's most valuable retailer with a market cap higher than Walmart's. The Dow's down 135 points, the Nasdaq lower by 49. Disappointing quarterly results from Biogen, shares plunging